There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, everyone. Welcome back to the Yonkō Table. We're back again. It's been some time, but as usual, we got Marvel Mania, Marvel Madness, smacking down hard with 2 episodes this Wednesday, Hawkeye. We're here to talk about it, me and my fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop. GrandMasterHoop, it's the eve before Thanksgiving on this recording. I hear you're packing up. You're getting ready. You're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, man. About to head back to the old stomping ground of the great 813, baby. Tampa Bay, Florida, Hillsborough County. A little area known as Greater Brandon, man. So yes, I'm about to head out probably after this here podcast. So one last time before the holiday session. So here we are. Hawkeye.
Here we are.
We're
here
have
to
thought?
talk about it.
Who would have thought we'd ever be here? You know?
Oh, what like a Hawkeye show?
Yeah, because Hawkeye debuted and first was seen in Thor in 2011.
Right.
Wasn't given much more than, little supporting roles in the subsequent films. Although he's a founding member of the Avengers.
He is.
Ain't nobody ever thought we'd have a Hawkeye show though. But here we are.
Honestly, yeah. Because back when MCU was, MCU is still kicking, but back when it was just movies of MCU, MCU phase 1, 2, and 3, no one expected a show of anything, right?
Right.
But prior to Disney Plus, the question was, can Hawkeye hold his own in his own movie? Can Black Widow? Well, I guess Black Widow kind of did later, but
they kind of flipped a coin. They said
they took a risk. Yeah. They're like, all right, Natasha, you get a movie, and Clint, you get a TV show. But honestly, I would not see us here, with a Hawkeye TV show.
No.
But what were your impressions going in on it? Because I know, because we're in the post Black Widow era, right? So because Black Widow kind of dealt with I guess a superhero that's more down to earth, hand-to-hand combat, gadgetry, all that stuff. Black Widow was hit or miss. So having seen that already, what were you going into Hawkeye to look for? Because his kit is, aside from the bow and arrow, is pretty much similar to Black Widow, hand-to-hand combat,
right?
Agility, stuff like that. So what were you looking for from this?
I guess with a lot of Phase 4, it's been a lot of passing of the torch. So coming into Hawkeye, everybody knew Kate Bishop would be in the show, that she'd be, co-starring. So I wanted to see how they handled that transition. We haven't seen too much transitions of power, but we have seen, Falcon and Winter Soldier was in my opinion, a great take on the transition of the Shield to Sam. So coming into this, just wanted to see how they balance that, because Hawkeye is not as big as a character as Steve Rogers was. There's a lot more weight in the passing of that shield versus now we have the passing of the bow,
Right.
And we also get this mentorship relationship that is sure to develop in the series. But how would that play out? Because to this day, I know some people, they don't give 2 shits about Hawkeye. So
it's fair, to each their own. He's not gonna be the 1v1ing Thanos, or used to be.
Right, exactly.
I get it.
So, and then I guess my only other thing coming in, as you said, Black Widow and Hawkeye were the more grounded characters as far as the grand scheme of things. I guess this would be more kind of that street level Avengers business that we don't often get to see because everyone else is dealing with like either a worldwide or universe threat. So
right,
it's
right.
like, how are you going to make this intriguing enough on the ground level? Because even Black Widow wasn't that much ground level because they took it to the whole, we got the widows all over the world and they're all brain controlled and whatnot. But it looks like this thing is about to be in New York and not move from New York and deal with whatever's going on in New York. So
right.
How do you keep us invested? So those are my big expectations coming in to this series.
No, I would say I had pretty much similar expectations going in. I think the way Disney handled it, because we got the first 2 episodes this week rather than one episode every week, and then we go up to like 7, 8, 9, however many episodes there are. But I feel like this series in particular needed the 2-episode drop at the same time, because I could tell you right now, episode 1 for me at least was garbage. Like, I because you go into a show called Hawkeye and you kind of have these preconceived notions, because we knew Kate Bishop was going to be in this, right? We saw her in the trailers. We saw her, as the passing of the torch, as you said. She's the next in line. But man, episode 1 really focused in. It opened with Kate Bishop. It went back to 2012. For the Avengers 1. Is that called A-Day in the MCU at all? No.
Like the video game?
Like the video game. No. Yeah, I knew the video game called it that. I'm like, oh man, do they call 2012 A-Day? But no, I guess not, right?
No, it's the Battle of New York. That's what they call it.
The Battle of New York. Okay.
Right.
I did like how they went back and kind of addressed like the ground zero aspect of the 2012 incident, because from what I remember, we never really got a ground level or ground zero type of storyline from the 2012 incident. I know we got it from other like Sokovia, the Civil War stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But 2012, I don't think we ever got, and it's one of those things that I'm sure we joke about it all the time, but like the fandom, they always show the scene from like 2012 in New York and Iron Man Hulk destroying half the city, and you have the SpongeBob meme where like, oh look, we did it, Patrick, we saved the city. And but like it's cool to see that. I don't know if I'm not remembering like a particular story that they did.
There's only one I can think of, and that was in Spider-Man Homecoming. That was Vulture's gig. They were supposed to go clean up the Chitauri leftovers, and then.
But it was the aftermath, though. It wasn't really like.
Oh yeah, right? No, it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, we never had like a first-person perspective of anybody on the street. So that opening was actually really cool, because when they said 2012 and they're in New York, we were sitting there watching it, and I was like, oh, 2012, New York, and then the dad said something like, something falling from the sky,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they're about to get hit by like a freaking Leviathan thing.
Yeah, the little snake. They keep coming back. Those things keep coming back no matter what.
Right. So when that thing, I was like, oh, there it is.
There it is. You already know they're gonna get hit by that.
Right.
For sure.
Exactly.
I admit I like the scene, right? What I thought was kind of, I was like, could you have done this a little better? The scene where she gets saved by Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And because I guess it's not particularly that scene specifically. It's just what that scene meant later on for her character, because then we get the scene where they're at the funeral because the dad didn't make it out from the collapsing of the building, and the mom is like, I'm gonna take care of you, and, oh yes, right, we ain't seen a body, so you already know what that means in the realm of fiction. But yeah, the mom, she's like, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna do whatever you need. And then she's like, I need a bow and arrow. And I'm like, ew, why'd you, like, I don't know, man. What was she gonna say if like Iron Man or Hulk was the one that saved her? You know what I mean?
I need to go to MIT and study electrical engineering.
Right? I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, I mean, again, this is me kind of doing the writer's job for them, but I think the vibe I got was, even though the Avengers, like, kind of like what you said earlier, they're all like kind of higher up cosmic entities, like, you know, Thor, Hulk, all these people that have like powers. But Hawkeye, and I guess it used to be Black Widow, they were kind of like the grounded people that showed that even though if you don't have powers, you can train yourself up to be a superhero.
Anyone could, yes. They're like
anyone
could be an Avenger, right?
Anyone can be an Avenger, and that's kind of the story of the Avengers video game. But I'm not here to talk about that garbage.
That's over.
But yeah, no, that's me doing the writer's job for them. Like, that's what I'm assuming what they were going for, but I didn't get that vibe in that scene. I don't know. What did you think about that? Her Kate Bishop's motivation.
You know, it was like you knew she was about to be saved by Hawkeye, but honestly, I thought they were gonna take more of like a comedic effect where she's just so awestruck, like you don't even need to know what happens next, like how she gets out of that building. She is just so in awe that like she's like about to be a fangirl, and then you know show various flashbacks of her training with the bow, her getting these gold medals and whatnot, martial arts and everything. But yeah, she's just like, oh yeah, I need a bow and arrow, and then it kind of just, I think it just jumps to her in the school, and she's on the archery team.
Yeah, it just
it kind of just glossed over like her fandom for Hawkeye. You don't really get to see like the transition or the comeuppance of her fandom for Hawkeye. All we got is that once she was saved, which I get, if you're saved by him,
right?
You know, it's like that My Hero moment when
oh my God,
said that's my hero, and then, like crying. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's enough for now. I would like to see in the future episodes, because I guess these first 2 episodes didn't really do it. She has a very subtle fandom. She's very subdued about it. Like she's very cool and she's very collected. You know, I want to see her geek out. I mean, come on, this is your hero. He saved you. You know?
Yeah.
And she's very calm. And I feel they want to go for this fangirl who just so happens to not all be talk.
Right.
She can actually walk the walk too. So.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I kind of got those vibes a little bit whenever, you know, she met Hawkeye for the first time.
Right.
And, you know, she was kind of, you know, dumbstruck. She was stuttering over her words. She asked for his autograph. I kind of got that fangirl stuff from her in those scenes. But I guess kind of like what you were saying, everything before that, you know, like, I understand that was her motivation, but I didn't see the fangirlism until she was in his presence.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're a big Hawkeye fan. It makes sense. Which, I mean, that kind of goes into what I think the show is really gonna like try to hang itself on is the chemistry between Clint and Kate.
Right.
Because I could tell you right now, I did not like Kate in episode 1. Like I wasn't a fan. Not even like the little Kate, you know, the older Kate,
the older
22-year-old Kate.
Right.
I just wasn't a fan, man. It just, I don't know, like the scene where she's like hitting the tower bell or the clock bell, and then it's like, oh, it's for a bet or something. Like I don't know. It just. She was just getting me on my nerves. And then, you know, she comes back home, starts giving her mom lip about, oh, mom, I had to take a bet, mom. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. No. I did not like Kate Bishop episode 1 at all.
I don't think you're looking too much. She, like the mom said, she's like, you either grow up not rich or grow up
something about invincible. It was
invincible. She's like, you grew up rich, so, or she said rich people think they're invincible or whatever. The point is she was kind of spoiled. She acts sort of spoiled, like, you know, like the mom has to pay for this bell clock tower, and she's like, it was a bell tower, mom, and the mom's like, yeah, it's a clock tower too. So yeah, she does kind of come off a little bratty. I won't say I don't like her, because I always liked Haley Steinfeld as an actress.
I liked her in Bumblebee.
I liked her in True Grit. If you ever seen True Grit,
Bumblebee was better, but yes.
Debatable. That's fine. She's Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Verse film. So voice acting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She is. So this is her second round with Marvel in
okay,
the Pitch Perfect series. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna let her come more into the role and the character. I think I don't want to pass judgment on her just yet, but I can see she's a bit bratty. And then I don't like how Marvel. Maybe it's a Marvel thing, but they make all these characters just, you know, they never been in the face of danger, and yet, you know, she's ready to put on.
They're ready to go.
She's ready to put on this Ronin suit and go kick ass against these guys with automatic weapons and masks. And it's like,
yeah, I didn't like. I get it that she's like, you know, a champion in like fencing and archery and stuff, but you're kicking ass for these like the tracksuit mafia. You know. I like that. That was hilarious.
Those guys were funny. I don't know.
They were funny. Come on, bro. What's wrong, bro?
Ethan, come on, man. What's up, Kid Bishop? What's up, Kid Bishop? They act like clowns.
Yeah, and I feel like. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying they act like clowns, but they're out here like busting up a black market auction and setting apartments on fire. So it's like all these clowns can back up their shit. So
yeah, I mean they got a name for themselves enough for Clint to realize like, oh, you know, by the way, they're like one of my main enemies as the Ronin. Right. Back in my days. But I mean, we keep mentioning Clint. I could tell you right now, I love the scenes with what's his first name? I know his last name is Reiner. Right? Renner. Jeremy Renner. I love his scenes. I like his scenes. The scenes where, you know, he's, oh my God, when he watched that play, Steve Rogers, mark my words, this is going to create enough of a fan base to where we're going to get a Broadway musical.
Absolutely. I really hope not, because that Broadway musical looked so trash. All those costumes look trash.
It's a template. They're not going to go beat for beat. They're going to build off of it. And dare I say, they might even top Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
That is considered the most dangerous musical that has ever hit Broadway of all time. But yeah, we'll see. But yes, he is the Doutragonist of the series. We haven't talked about him at all yet. I liked his scenes too. You know, he's watching the play and he sees the Black Widow character, and he's obviously still feeling remorse and probably guilt over her death, which we know is going to come into play given the ending of Black Widow. You know, Yelena's probably coming for blood. So it's cool. It's cool to see that he's still, you know, like dealing with that remorse and whatnot. And the other thing I feel a lot of people didn't notice was, you know, like people give him all this praise, but he's still feeling guilt too over the whole Ronin stint that he did.
Right.
You know? Well, because what do you do that for, like 5 years?
For 5 years, right? Post Infinity War, you know, he lost everything, and he felt like, you know, I got nothing left to lose, so I'm gonna go full Batman v Superman in this place, you know. Batman killed and Batman v Superman. Right. That's what yeah.
And he's up here on this show, and they're like, Hawkeye's always got his mark. He always hits the bullseye. And, you know, people hold him to such a high regard being an Avenger and have no idea he was out here, you know.
Killing.
I technically they would consider mass murders the places he left, you know. Right. So I get it. This man is trouble. He's got all this pent up guilt and remorse, and he's a hypocrite. He knows he's a hypocrite, and he doesn't want people to hold him to these standards of, you know, he's a hero. He's he always does what's right. Captain America ain't go catch bodies like that. In those 5 years, he was holding AA meetings.
That's right. Yeah.
He said, fuck this. I'm gonna kill the Yakuza over here.
And he did his job. I mean, he did work as the I didn't even know that was his name. Like back then. Did they mention that in Endgame? No?
I don't know if they ever mentioned Ronin by name. I know one of the Yakuza members mentioned him, I think, as the Ronin, but more he didn't say that was his name. He called him a Ronin, like a samurai.
Okay. Right.
But fans knew that costume was the Ronin costume. So it's one of those things where like just what the fan knowledge, they take what we should already know as fans and make it canon. So I don't think in the film it was ever called the Ronin, or he was called the Ronin. But then they were just like, oh, the Ronin has been spotted in New York, and we haven't seen the Ronin in 2 years. And the Ronin was known to be causing mass casualties every time he appeared. So we're supposed to just be on board and have known that's called the Ronin.
Right. I mean, I do want to mention one scene I found absolutely hilarious, and of course, it's at the same time that they're doing the Steve Rogers musical. When he goes into the bathroom and he sees the graffiti on the wall and the urinal, is once said Thanos was right.
Thanos was right.
Who wrote that?
That's gotta make a guy feel bad too.
Yes. I mean, you could say there are layers to that, because if Thanos was right, that means the path that Clint chose in as a result of Thanos' decision, he could view that as himself, like that's his true self. If Thanos was right, that means that the path I laid out for myself as the Ronin, that's the path I should have stayed on.
Right, because
you peel the layers.
Right. And yes, I see what you're saying. And then on the flip side of that, it's like, well, damn, I went through all this. I lost my best friend to undo the thought that Thanos was right, Right. So it's a double-sided coin right there. He's got a lot of turmoil going on up here.
No, he does. A part I had to rewatch the scene after go back like a second time. I thought he was getting salty that Ant-Man was mentioned, because I think I even I texted someone. I was like, oh my god, they did Clint dirty, because they went down the whole roster. They're they're like Tone. Oh my god, I don't even know the lyrics.
Oh, it was like yeah. Tony flies up and Thor uses his hammer and Cap uses his shield. Like Widow's on the ground, and Ant-Man. The fact that Ant-Man came first in the lyrics. Yes. Trifling.
The thing is, when they mentioned Ant-Man, that was when Clint like zoning out, right? And I thought he was getting pissed because it's like, oh my god, am I a nobody to these people? Right. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, you're the same as Black Widow. Why would society deem you the lesser, Avenger? But then they said in the lyrics, like, Black Widow was hot. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that, even though Black Widow is a ground level Avenger, she's really attractive. So they're gonna remember her in the musical. But Clint's average. Who cares about Clint? Here's Ant-Man. And
maybe the whole story about Ant-Man being the reason that they succeeded came about, and so he gets more shine than Hawkeye. So
which is crazy, because how does Ant-Man have a public name for himself like that in the MCU?
So I feel a lot of this because, again, when you watch like a film like Shang-Chi or like Eternals, they know what happened. They all mention, Thanos came and did this, wiped out half the population. Everybody is aware of what happened. So that means the Avengers must have gone to the public and in very detail, in a detailed account, they told their story and everything that happened to where it is now public knowledge, you know?
Right.
Oh, Ant-Man unshrunk himself from the quantum realm, and we've met Ant-Man. Yeah, you know, they probably went on record about, because, you know, everyone was like, what the fuck happened? So, but yeah, so that's how I imagine Ant-Man got in the public eye. And then also, you know, there was like YouTube clips of like, say, you know, like the
like Spider-Man.
Right, the German.
You imagine other characters.
Exactly. So Ant-Man could have just been, I mean, it's not because Hank Pym made that name, but the fans, the people in the universe. Right. Like, that's Ant-Man.
No, that's right.
I love that Hawkeye, he was like, you know, Ant-Man wasn't even there.
That's right. That
was oh, he's being petty now.
He's being petty, and that's the Clint that I like.
Me too.
Clint's fantastic.
I like that Clint.
But yeah, that's I mean, aside from that, episode 1 closes us off with that auction house scene. I wasn't a fan of it either.
Well, we got they're starting to build a mystery now. You know?
Right. I guess the mystery aspect is what I was into in that scene, but it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, where you're throwing Kate Bishop, someone who's never had combat experience, like legit combat experience, and she's in the Ronin suit, and she's fighting these guys in the auction house.
She should. I don't care how many gold medals you have.
Like, no, it doesn't translate into into what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I never been in a fight with mobsters, but you know, it's like a competition fight is not the same as a life or death fight. You know?
It is not. Like, tell me, how does fencing or martial arts translate into stepping on a bottle with enough agility and precision to ricochet off the ground and hit someone in the head? No, that's experience. That's like in real life combat experience. Can I see Clint do that? Yes. Can I see Natasha do that? Yes. Kate Bishop? Right now? No, I can't. Not right now.
Unless she took a bottle handling class too.
Absolutely not.
Teach you, you know, the physics of a wine bottle. Yeah, I don't really believe it, but yeah, you know, they're building up a mystery behind her stepdad, Jack Duquesne. And now we have the mystery of who killed old man Armand the third. That's right. Right. And so yeah, we meet the tracksuit mafia, some of their I guess they're lieutenants, and yeah, like you said, the fight scenes again, not that believable on the Kate Bishop part, but you know, guess who finally catches up to her? Our man Clint,
our boy Clint,
because you know he can't have this Ronin suit out and about running around,
which is crazy because it's like, what? How did he even get there to the point where it's being auctioned off? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they said from remnants from the Avengers compound. So you mean to tell me
what?
When the Avengers compound got blown up?
Which one? The
one in Endgame.
The one in okay, right. Okay, in Endgame.
But you mean to tell me they didn't like go try to find their belongings or clean up the wreckage?
They were all there.
They were there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so y'all just called some people to come clean up. They said, find whatever you get. You find some gamma radiation blood, take it.
First come, first serve.
You find some PIM particles, they're yours. Like, what?
Oh my God. No, ew. Oh man. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe all that. That just sounds just so negligent. Avengers.
It's not believable. It's not believable. I don't believe that they. Just no. There's no way they would, unless, I mean, you know, everyone has like the important stuff, like what you're saying, like the PIM particles, the blood, the gamma radiate, like they all, the higher ups took care of all of that stuff, but the you know, the Ronin suit, you know, no one's really looking at the Ronin suit, so it might get swept under the rug under inventory, and no one really cares. Maybe that's how it got through. You know, no one's sneaking out an Iron Man suit onto the black market.
No,
like,
definitely not. No,
there's no way. So, but starting with episode 2, and this is what I was saying earlier, how Clint and Kate are much better when they're together. Their chemistry is pretty good. I mean, from what I could see, I'm starting to like Kate more when she's with Clint. But then that begs the question, is it because it's Clint that I'm liking her scenes? You know what I mean? Like, is it the actual chemistry between the two characters, or is it just I like Clint and therefore he's carrying the scene without much input from Kate?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, clearly Jeremy Renner's the veteran actor and the veteran to the MCU, so he's very in touch with this character, so it's very easy for him to play. When she's alone, Kate's got to carry it and be able to show all these different things because she's the new character. We got to figure out why she's so gung-ho about trying to figure out what's wrong with her stepdad or soon-to-be stepdad. We got to figure out why she's so against, working for her mom and security. You said you want to protect your mom. Why not go into security? So
seems like the obvious choice.
Exactly. So she got a lot more to carry when she's by herself. But when she's with Clint, she can be that fangirl. She could be that, ooh, what about trick arrows? And he's like, we don't have trick arrows. And I think he's gonna pull out trick arrows later on.
He is, for sure.
It also, the dynamic is he's so quick to shut her down because I think he's definitely on that point where he probably doesn't want to take on a mentor because essentially that's what happened with him and Natasha. He transitioned Natasha out of being a widow and brought her into Shield, and they became best friends. So I can see why he would want to be distant from Kate. Also, he's just trying to get out the game too. He's over it. He lost his family for 5 years. I can understand that the man just wants to spend Christmas.
That's all he wants.
Right. Like, I feel for him. I get it, dude. None of the other Avengers lost everybody. You know?
Maybe have 1 or 2 people left, but Clint, the randomness was not in Clint's favor with that snap. He lost everyone. Right.
They said 1 in every 5 families, someone's going to lose everybody in their family. Or 1 in every 6 families. So they said, you Avengers, 5 of y'all are good. Clint, say goodbye to every single member of your family.
Oh my God. But yeah, Tracksuit Mafia, hilarious. Which, I mean, they seem a lot like clowns. I'm wondering how, as the Ronin, how did Clint even make them as enemies? You know what I mean? Like,
how did they get on his radar? Right, they do seem like clowns.
Yeah, they slip on banana. Like, they literally wear tracksuits. And I feel like they're the type of goons that slip on banana peels on the way to work. They seem like also like the stormtroopers who can't ever land a shot because I don't think any of them ever landed a shot. They're buffoons. They're buffoons running around. Yeah, I don't really get the what is the it factor for them? What makes them so dangerous? Why is this mafia so bad? So, yeah. Which, I mean, I guess we'll get it in next week's episode because it kind of looked like that shady. Did you know that actress? I don't know if she's a new person.
Hey, that's her. That's Echo.
Oh, that's Echo.
That's Echo.
Oh my God. Oh, so that's why they were talking to her in sign language.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That is her. So she's making her big debut ahead of her series.
She's making her big debut.
Yep.
Maybe a Daredevil reference at some point.
Who knows? But she looks pretty formidable in that closing shot of episode 2.
She does. I mean, I'm telling you, episode 2 made me interested in the series. If it ended on episode 1, I would have a much negative outlook on Hawkeye as a series, as a first impression going in, because not every Marvel show got 2 episodes. On the first week. I think the only one was
WandaVision.
WandaVision. And
Yeah.
for WandaVision, I kind of understood it because,
Yeah,
the mystery. Yeah.
You
Go
needed to
ahead.
knock out those 2 episodes because it was like, I mean, any candid fan would not be continuing WandaVision probably after those first 2 episodes.
Right.
No.
Right. Especially like, week after
Week
week, like
after
for 2
week.
weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So I think it's the same vibe with this one. I feel like they didn't really, they saw episode 1 and they're like, oh boy, we got to get some more Clint in there. And then they dropped episode 2 the same day, and what do you know, more Clint. And all the Clint scenes were really good. Like when he went to the LARP.
The LARP.
Oh my God, that was easily my favorite scene in both episodes. The what is it? Live action role playing.
Right. It was fun because, thematically, I guess this is the whole ordeal with Hawkeye as a character, is that he is the weakest Avenger,
Quotation marks.
He is the one that nobody knows. And she said, it's your branding, man. Look at you. You're like, you're not happy like, Steve, and you're not an ass like Tony. People gravitate towards that stuff. You're just kind of there with this mean look on your face, like you don't want to be here. So, when he goes through the LARP and, the guy's like, you're a real life superhero. you gotta make it look good because, this is so cool for me. And he goes
Right.
and, he plays along and does that little death with him. And he's like,
Right.
my name's Grills, man. Thank you. Thank you. He's like,
No,
call me
I-
Clint. He said, call me Clint.
He said, "Call me Clint," and I really like that scene. It was like I wasn't expecting it. I thought Grills was going to be a bit of an ass in returning the suit back to him, because this is usually what you see in fiction, because the guy wants to go get his gear back, and it's an avid fan, and he's
Right.
like, oh no, give me a signed bow and arrow and I'll give it back to you, and then Clint has to whoop his ass or something. But no, it was a very heartwarming scene. Like the guy just wanted to have fun because he sees Hawkeye as a superhero, and he's like, dude, do you realize like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity? Can you let me beat you and let's have fun with it? And then Clint is like, all right, go ahead, just like chop my head off. He's like, no man, come on, let's have fun.
You gotta make it
Like,
look real. You gotta make it look good.
Yeah. And then he had the conversation with them afterwards saying, dude, you had fun too, right?
Like, yes, like
come
you have
on.
to admit you had fun, right?
Right. Oh man, I really enjoyed those scenes. I like the comedy of the LARP festival in general with Clint, and then I just loved that conversation he had with Grills at the end, and also before he fought him. I just liked it because it really showed what his state of mind was going in, and I felt like he kind of changed a little bit coming out of that.
Oh no, I can see that's where they're trying to go with this show, because unlike the other Avengers, we don't get to see them interact with everyday people, because
Right.
like we said earlier, they either got like galactic like threats that they got to deal with, or global threats that they don't have time to interact with like real world people. You saw a little bit with it, Sam and Bucky, Sam trying to handle things back at his sister's their parents' family boat in their house. So you saw a
Right.
little bit of that. But here you have an Avenger who doesn't recognize his worth as an Avenger. And here's a person reminding him that, dude, you are a superhero. You have done good things. People do look up to you. And, you might be battling with something that people don't see on the surface, but it's like, you have done a plenty of good in this world. And you can do more by making this guy's day, LARPing.
And he did.
Exactly.
He LARPed.
So I think this show's gonna work as just a big rebranding of Hawkeye as a character. It's like, if you didn't like Hawkeye before this series, you're gonna like him by the end of it. I think that is the big thing. I think that's actually really smart. They have to recognize the Hawkeye is probably not that likable of a character to the casual fan.
To the casual, yeah, people that are that just watch Marvel movies nonstop. They like Clint. I already liked Clint before this show.
Exactly.
You know?
I've always liked Hawkeye. I never had a problem. I was like, dude understands his role, his assignment. He didn't need to go no further than shooting that bow and arrow. Yes.
Exactly. And I guess the last thing we haven't talked about, Jack Duquesne, right?
Duquesne. Have you done any research at all?
No,
I get spoilery.
It can't. Okay, I don't want to because I think I tried. I tried doing the old man first.
Armand.
He was Armand Duquesne, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah. I tried doing him, and nothing came up on my end, so I kind of just left it at that. Because then it started asking questions like, "Who killed the uncle of whatever?" I'm like, "Oh wait, I have no idea what that is. Nope, I'm not gonna look at that." But yeah, Jack Duquesne, I'm sure is a character in the MCU. I kind of don't want to do my research on it because I want to be surprised at who he is. I mean, he's obviously hiding something.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, clearly,
he has an obsession with swords.
Right.
Right. Do you know who he is?
I did a little look up, but that's the thing. What I've already read and the avid comic fans know, it is now a matter of, is this going to be a direct adaptation? Because if it is, it will seem sort of convoluted how this all came together.
Okay, right.
Well, it'll be like, that's too much of a coincidence. Like, so let me not say anymore.
Okay.
Let me just say, let's hope they take a good amount from the comics and keep it true to the comics, but enough to do their own thing where you don't lose the plot and the believability of the plot of the story.
Damn, so it really goes out there. Okay.
Well, it's just like, oh, gosh, if you know the history of the character of Jack Duquesne, again, all these characters are from like the Hawkeye comics. So
yeah.
It's like they all have a tie into Hawkeye. Well, I won't say how, but it's like, story-wise, please make it make sense within the realm of the MCU.
Make it make sense.
Just transition it to this show, and we'll be okay.
All right. I will refrain from spoiling myself on Jack Duquesne.
Yes,
and his master swordsmanship. And I guess the last question is: does the Tracksuit Mafia know Hawkeye is Ronin? I don't think they do.
I don't think so either, right?
Yeah. No, they don't, because that ending scene when they had Hawkeye,
they called him Hawkeye.
They called him Hawkeye, and they were asking where's Kate Bishop, because they're tying Kate Bishop to her wearing the Ronin suit. So they're asking her because I guess they're asking him because they think that she is the Ronin, or at least know who the Ronin is. And that's where we pretty much like end episode 2, and then we get to see Echo right afterwards. I think that covers everything.
Much did not really happen in this show. It was kind of in these 2 episodes. It was a lot of, well, especially episode 2, nothing really much happened with Kate. We, the LARPing was really all it was for Hawkeye, and then we got their scenes together, and that's really it. There's, no sense of, picking and prodding at things that are not there. We talked about what was there. That was what was given to us in these first 2 episodes. So I think it's only 6 episodes. So
6.
It's only 6.
God.
So yeah, that's the same as Loki had 6.
Loki did have 6, right? Loki had 6.
Captain America and
Captain America had
Falcon
6 too.
Captain Falcon, had 6. So episode 3 should be kind of almost like a mid-season finale. It should be like a mid-season finale. Like the game will be changed by the episode 3. Like you should have an idea of where we're going after 4, 5, and 6.
Right. And does the final episode, because I'm trying to think ahead of the game, the final episode is after No Way Home, right?
Oh my
It would be.
gosh.
Because next week would be 3. That's
Uh,
December 1st.
So
And
unless they
then-
do like a 2-episode finale, it could end right before No Way Home.
No Way Home. Okay.
Yeah, if they want it, if they want.
If they want to,
But if
right?
not, it'll go another week and it'll end Christmas week, the week of Christmas, and this whole
Right.
show is like, well, you got 5 days, Clint.
Oh,
If you really
yeah.
want to keep your promise to your children,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Setting the parameter for
Right. It
this
makes
whole
sense.
series takes place in 5 days.
In 5 days, 2 years after Endgame, right before Christmas. I guess we'll find out when No Way Home takes place once it comes out, once it
Right.
drops.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. I think that covers everything on
Yeah.
Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. It's all right. I like it. I'm here for it.
Same.
The Clint stuff, I like it. The chemistry with him and Kate Bishop, which I guess is the most important part of the series, because it's going to likely be a passing of the mantle or torch to Kate Bishop. You know, it makes sense. I'm here for it. It works. And hopefully it gets better. You know, the series could get better as it goes along, because the characters develop. They might become more likable, and they might be left in a place by episode 6 where you're like, damn, I really want to know what they're going to do next. I'm hoping, I ask myself that with Kate Bishop by the end of season 1 of Hawkeye. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Let us know what you think of Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2 in the comments below, wherever you're hearing this, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We're here everywhere. Just give us a share, give us a listen, give us a like. Let us know what you think and what are your predictions for the rest of the Hawkeye series. But with that, everyone, I'm your Yonkō host, Dr. Jace Attorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop. And oh my God, the dog. We forgot about the dog.
What's his name? Pizza the dog.
Is it Pizza? Is it
All right.
Pizza?
His name is something Pizza Dog. Lucky the Pizza Dog.
Lucky the Pizza Dog. I noticed he had like one eye closed, so it's like,
Yeah.
kind of
No,
like.
I think he's missing an eye.
Oh no, yeah, I knew he was missing an eye.
Oh,
I just meant
sorry,
like
sorry.
that, to indicate that he had his eye closed, and it shows like, oh yeah, kind of like when you aim down the sights like a bow and arrow, you close one eye. Like, oh, okay, a little on the nose.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
No, because in the posters, I saw that he had one eye closed, and I didn't know it's because he didn't have an eye. I thought he was doing some, Hawkeye shenanigans with aiming or something.
Right.
But we got him in there. We didn't forget about the dog. The dog's lovable. I'm sure he'll appear way more and do some trick shots or trick arrows. I don't know what they're gonna do with the damn dog, but
I don't know. Hopefully maybe he'll be doing something silly. I'm sure.
exactly. But all right, guys. Dr. Jace Attorney, Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, signing off. Have a good one. Take care.